Absolutely, going for this cob, test your abilities to the max.
There was not a day that we didn't have the highest hopes of catching that big fish.
You gotta realize that's what you gotta go through to catch these fish, and be willing to go through to catch these fish. I want it like not bad, extra bad.
So Chart and Skulk just arrived in Jeffries, and they're making use of our guided company. They've been with us for many years. They come annually actually, and it's one of those type of clients and groups of clients that have actually become friends of yours, you know. So we're embarking this trip on a quest to look for a giant cob.
The cob is a special fish with the ability to grow to astonishing sizes, oftentimes exceeding 40 to 50 kilograms, and sometimes even bigger, easily making them one of the most desired fish by many anglers.
I come from a freshwater fishing background. I've been introduced to carp fishing, yellowfish fishing, barbel fishing, and when I was 9 years old, my dad took me to Henties Bay. On that trip, there were numerous cob caught. And since then, I've always dreamed of catching one. And since I've progressed in my fishing, I did eventually catch a few, but catching a monstrous one always lured me back. This trip originated last year. Me, Skulky, and a friend of ours, Dries, we came on a small fishing venture, just 2 days, a culmination of sharks and rays and stuff. It's actually dedicated to a fish he caught last year with also a returning client of his, David. They caught a big Malawi cob and just got into conversation with Duvan. I actually asked Duvan if a 10-day trip would give you the best chance possible for a proper big cob, and he told me that's exactly what you need. It's a culmination of factors that you need to keep in mind, and that'll give a 10-day period will give you the best chance of producing a big fish. You could go for 1 day and blank, or you could really dedicate yourself on 10 days and stand the best chance of catching that fish. So that's what we've opted for, that's what we've came for, and fingers crossed that's what we get.
Okay, so today is day one. We've had 2 days of east wind. We found ourselves at Sundays River, probably the cob mecca of our country. 2-3 days ago, we've been catching cob consecutively, day after day. And I'm looking at Ajax and I'm telling him, like, bro, we're gonna do this today. We're gonna get our target day one. So it's been a bit of a rushy start to the morning. We sit outside the gate waiting for an hour. Got into the beach, I quickly chased the client and said, go, go, go. There's a nice paddle tail spot. I'm quickly gonna try get some mullets. We didn't pack any bait today, anything. One tiny piece of choker, it's gonna make 2 baits worth. So I'm gonna quickly try get some mullets. See you guys in the spot soon.
Oh, hey!
Okay, so we had a couple of throws with the paddle tail. Looked very nice. My friend got that nice fish, about 10 kilos. And we're gonna put a couple of baits here, a couple of live baits. And it's a nice spot. There could be a big fish here. That's why I'm choosing to stay here. There is another nice spot a little bit further up, which Terry will check out for us. But these guys are quite committed, so I back them to be okay if the tide pushes here. Okay, I'm gonna try put this on the bank at the back. Very nice spot this. Let's go. Okay, so we're fishing for big fish this week, or these 10 days I've got these guys. We're fishing for big carp, in case you don't know already. So we are primarily going to be focusing on using live baits. We are going to throw some lures and catch fish in between. That's going to be fun. But the focus is definitely going to be live baits, and the spots we choose are going to be big fish focused. So we might miss out on 1 or 2 smaller fish along the way, or garrick or something. But that's the type of risk you take when we do this type of carp fishing. You gotta be willing to take a risk to get the biscuit. You gotta take a risk to get the biscuit. Let's see if we can get a carp quite early this morning. Settle everyone's nerves. Come on, baby, hit the bank. Just on that bank. Could have been 5 meters further, but in the zone nonetheless. Okay. Yeah, I'm excited, guys. Very excited. Eish. We're getting the bronzy on the wrong tackle.
Okay, boys, just a slide. Decided to put a live bait on. I was sliding the live bait just busy. We're trying to get a nice big carp, but unfortunately the shark just pick us and then it bite me off. But I never expect to get a shark, but yeah, I'm gonna try to get another bait in the water. I'll meet you there.
So instinctively, immediately started throwing shallower for the cob, and I put the one rod right in the mouth on the right hand side. And while the bronzies were chowing full force, I checked the rod on the right, just get a bit of slack and bounce, 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 and I knew straight away that this was a cob bite. We had a long way to run though on the spring low tide in the mouth. It was a flat piece of sand, and Skulk actually had a big of a bail, but you know, here's our first cob. Is it okay?
First bite so far. Feels like it's a carp.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll get it in.
So yeah. Okay, so we just managed to get our first carp bite. It was quite a run. We were just getting some snacks, refreshing, and tides dropped, so the rods are far away from us. And Chad's got a decent fish on. Not a monster, but I think we're going to be on the board. Let's get him out. This carp looks like it's going straight into this river mouth. There it is. You got to walk back with the fish when you're holding the rod. There we go. You can see that J-hook got him. Happy board. There we go. First cobby.
First cobby. Awesome.
Not big at all, but
It's a bite.
it's definitely a cob, and we're on the board.
I've got a nice garrick here, guys. And you keep me nicely on butt. I'm gonna take a nice picture and release.
Okay, let's get this fish back. There he goes. Nice. So a bronzy is actually like a really special fish. It's targeted by most of our traveling fishermen, people from all across the country. In this case, we had Cornet for a day trip, and he really wanted to catch a bronzy. He lives in the area. He had never caught a bronzy before, and he made use of us to target a bronzy. And it's a really special fish, and Cornet and we all as a group really enjoyed it. Did not form part of our cob quest, but it's an incredible fish nonetheless. Okay, so today I sat with Ajax and we sort of re-strategized a little bit, and we went straight back to a spot that 2-3 days prior we had caught some really nice carp. So we walked up the surf. It's about a 3-kilometer walk. It forms a beautiful horseshoe type of bank, which is great for carp. We had live bait ready, and when I got there I said, oh, it looks beautiful. I put a live bait on quickly, I ran, I threw it, and I was still walking back and I felt the slack and the bump. and I knew straight away this is a cob. I shouted, "Skulk, skulk!" I gave him the rod. I told Ajax, yes, we made the right call today.
Okay, so I just threw that mullet. Marek went back to the box quickly, and by the time he got to the box, the cob throwed me. It's not a big fish, but it's a cob, so off to a good start. It's always nice when you get a cob on your first cast, or fish on your first cast. Hopefully this trend can stay throughout the whole day. Bigger than yesterday's one. Hey, on the board, boys, on the board. There's a lovely little cobby, first throw of the morning. Small one, but a fish nonetheless. Oh, nee man. Ah, shark already. Yeah. Shark. Shark, shark. Guess it's irritating.
So the good thing about skulk and shark is that they are fishermen by nature. So quickly we realized this really was going downhill in terms of cob fishing. So we thought, let's just get in on some bronzy action.
Oh, lovely bronzy. Good job, Ajax. Good job. Where's Carla? Give her a push. There we go. There we go. Yeah. That's an out one. That's back.
So we are somewhere around.
There you go. Circle look in the corner, hook it out. Yes.
What's up? What's up, Jack?
I'm a bit nervous. Saturday, hoping Camp 2 is not too busy. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Actually, it's a weekend. I'm a little bit stressing. Some of those guys are always stay overnight there. But I think we can find a spot. I think that they can be better, Matron. Just is the main thing to find a spot.
I think the best thing we can do is try and walk up a little bit, try and get away from the crowds if it is too busy. Try and find a more isolated area for us so we don't have to share with anyone else. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is a good plan, John. Just to run straight next to the mouth on a good spot there.
Okay.
So that bang there.
Half past 10 is low.
Yeah, half past 10. So that bang I think it's gonna be alright, but I don't know how far back.
We ended up walking kilometers just to find nothing. And now everyone is exhausted and incredibly frustrated, making this easily the worst day of the trip.
Disaster. We walked for 6 kilometers, no issues. Ajax walks 20 meters maybe, and he drops the whole A-train, whole trolley, water out the bucket for the mallets. Can't listen to him, darling. But look back if you're there.
So we're halfway through the trip. We've caught a very few cob actually. And from a guide's perspective, it was really starting to get challenging. The weather was worsening, the sea was picking up, bronzies were everywhere. And I actually think the cob didn't want to feed. So even though we had different baits and techniques we were trying, I think because of the amount of sharks in the water and how shallow they were, the cob were, hey bro, I'm out of here. They were not interested. So, and on top of all of that, the clients were losing hope. So it was at a challenging point of our quest.
It's been a few days into the trip already, and fishing has been hard to say the least. We're really dedicated to catch a big cob, but it's been brutal, and we've been doing serious miles on the beach, up and down, trying to get one. I unfortunately I hurt my foot somehow, and that's made it really hard on me.
And this is where you really need to step up as a guide, because you need to keep their motivation up. You need to keep your people, your team's motivation up, and you need to adapt. You can't do the same thing over and over. You need to constantly think of new ways and techniques to find your targeted fish.
So we came into this trip with very high expectations, and we looked at the weather a week before we came even to the Eastern Cape for the fishing, and we knew we had to be patient, and we knew we had to be committed to this trip and everything. And we started fishing, and there was not a day that we didn't have the highest hopes of catching that big fish. And after a couple of days with the bronzies catching up with us and biting us off and giving us trouble, it started being difficult to have high hopes. And that one day Duvan just had that look, and he said, listen, today is gonna be the day. And he was excited, and just as he was excited, we were excited as well.
And Ajax and I sat together last night, the night before, and we looked at past experiences when we were faced with a very similar situation and what the solution was then, or what worked better then. The answer was crossing the river to the Van der Riet's side of Sunday's River. And in the past, what we had seen in our notes is that the bronzies were slightly fewer. Can't tell you exactly why, but also there were shallower parts. Sunday's left-hand side was very deep, the gutters were very deep. So it was very easy for the sharks to come close to shore, where I know the Van der Riet side was a bit shallower. So I got really hopeful. I had like a very good feeling. I was trying not to show it, but I had a feeling we were gonna pick up on something was gonna be a little bit different.
So my favorite part of being a cob fisherman and dedicating myself for cob is just the adventure of it. Trust me when I tell you go through what pretty much a lot of people would call hell to catch that proper fish. And that's just the experience of catching that fish. It's a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. It's walking kilometers and kilometers of checking your water formation, all the banks, all the spots that you want to fish and go through it. It's a special fish, and you need to do special things to catch that special fish. So it's just a culmination of factors, and just have at it.
So found a spot, nice shallow bank at the back, put my slide sinker, slid my bait, Ajax threw a live bait, sitting there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, no bronzy bite. So this is really good news, everyone's now like sort of anticipating this bronzy wrecking us again, and they didn't. And all of a sudden the rod that Ajax threw just has a twitch, a bump, And I'm like, here we go. It's going to be our first cob.
Get in! I'm pretty sure it's a cob. I really hope it's a cob. No, man.
Slaap je.
Just got stuck in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, bruh. Really not sure what's that. Seems a bit strong for cob, to be honest now. But really good head shakes and really bit like a cob. And the dog's eating all the food. Dog's opportunistic, yeah.
A raggy.
Yeah, could be a reggie.
Please. That's the cob, that is the raggy. Please.
Big head shakes. Could be a reggie though. Safe to say my heart's definitely in my chest. See that?
We're not sure what it is yet, but important fighting these fish, keep your rod up high, soft hands, don't force the fish, and start praying. It is a nice fish. We've been putting in a lot of effort for one. I think Duvan's praying the hardest. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
You're just waiting for an yeah.
It might be a raggy. It was definitely shaking its head when it took.
Fully hard though.
So I'm feeling a little bit stressed and very excited.
I wasn't feeling a little bit stressed. I think we've just so used to bronzy pulling, you know.
Oh ja, ek het hom gesien in die surf, bro.
Het?
Ek dit amper soos 'n kap op jou gelyk om eerlik te wees. Check aan daai brander. Check aan daai brander, check hom. Maar nee, is 'n platvis, ja. Diamond ray. Ek dog ek sien silwer, bro. Oh well, at least something else than a bronzy. Okay, now that we know it's not a cob, we can start putting up pressure on the fish and bring him in. It's unfortunately cob fishing, guys.
Luckily we got away from the bronzies.
Yeah, we're still very optimistic. Bronzies aren't bothering us. So it's making sense now. It got foul hooked in one of its flaps. So that was the head shakes we're feeling is every time it swims. But yeah, at least something. So we're on the board. Let's try for a big cob.
When it's a cob, you're nervous. Your body just knows. So I suppose it was a giveaway then already. But can't really blame us. Stingray flaps. Look like a cob. It's called a diamond ray. Diamond stingray. Extremely good at camouflaging, as you can see. Distinctively known for their diamond shape. And they love frequenting the shallow waters and entering the rivers. So, pretty cool species. Yeah. I think we're finally on with our first cob in like 3 days, to be honest. This one, I'll put money on this one being a cob. So, let's get him out. It is definitely a cob, yeah. Now he's playing it nicely with soft hands. Playing it very softly. Crack me, Chart. Oof, that's a cobby. That's our cobby. Finally.
Everyone's gonna grab it soon.
I want eyes on this
Fingers
thing.
crossed it is a cob.
I want to be 100% convinced it's finally a
This
cob.
point, we would love it to be a cob. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't think it's a cob. What is it? small shark type of a thing.
No.
A sand shark. A suntai. Guys, we just caught a sand shark on a live mullet. How is it possible?
Waarom nog steeds nie 'n bronzie nie? Dit is jou reaksie. Jy weet
Everyone was so excited that it was not a bronzie, so it must surely be a cob. But instead it was a giant lesser sand shark, and I looked like a complete mampara.
Marek, why are you filming this? Put the camera off. Okay, we got another bite here. Things are a little bit different today. We're getting different types of bites, which is interesting at least. So, sandy, diamond ray, couple of bronzies in between. Had 1 or 2 cob knocks. And now the slide got eaten. It ate like a cob, but I mean, it's about the 4th ate like a cob bite today. So, let's not get our hopes up. I think we're also bloody desperate. We're just wishing and hoping. Maybe it's a Garrick. Yay! A young Garrick. Finally an edible bite. Very good sign. See the circle hook got him there. First edible in 2 days. Small Garrick. Ate like a Garrick. Ate like an edible species. On the board. This one we put on the bank, so gonna try get the next one exactly on that sandbank and see if maybe can produce a bigger one or a cob. Okay, just got that Garrick, so I just wanted to make sure I get the next bait exactly on the sandbank again. I think the bronzies, there might be 1 or 2 bronzies in the gutter, but that sandbank is surely still too shallow for the feed on. And that's where we got that Garrick. The bait stayed in for quite a long time. And that's honestly the difference. We just need to get a bait to stay in so a cob or Garrick can find it. So, opted for the sliding technique here. The mullet got smashed by what I'm pretty sure was a cob. You check there, it just pierces the skin. There you can see it's pierced the skin properly. You can see it's a crunching mark, it's not a slicing mark. There you can see the little teeth, gripping teeth mark of the cob. And all the scales are off. So it's everything but going our way at the moment. But we're just going to keep persevering, and it's going to make it taste so much sweeter when we come right. So hopefully we come right soon. Okay, so we just saw the rod slack and a couple of big bumps. I'm not sure, 100% sure what it is, but it's definitely got some head shakes. Maybe another sand shark, or under normal circumstances I would say cob. But I'm going to refrain from saying that entirely. Maybe a Garrick or something. Let's see. I really hope to get this cob curse christened. No more head shakes, unfortunately. So not sure what it is. I had quite a few head shakes in the beginning, but now it's fighting a bit like a sand shark. See, there's some slack line on the other rod too. Go, boys! Finally! I've never been so happy to catch a cob in my life. Come on, boy. Please stay on. Got the J-hook has got him. Oh, it's such soft hands when you're handling these guys. I want to pick him up in the gills. Just in front of the gills is a nice lip grip here. I'm going to show you there. You see that lip grip? That's usually a nice lip grip.
Sorry.
Yes!
Finally!
Woo! Enough.
That's a welcome sight.
Okay, finally we got a nice cob. It's been such hard graft for this guy. It's about a 9-kilo fish. We wanted one for the pan and a catch cook, but I'm gonna put this guy back. Hopefully it's gonna give us some good karma. There we go. Yes, yes, nice one. Woo!
We finally caught our first cob in like 3 or 4 days of fishing. And it was a very special moment and a step in the right direction.
Cob Crescent has been released, finally. The Cob curse is finished. I think there was another bite here. Young Garrick are eating the mullet. It's all a good sign though. It means things are definitely changing. This east wind, the warmer water. We're fishing very shallow though to get away from these bronzies. But I think we made the right call today. Garrick don't usually kill the mullet, especially not with their first hit. They're not the small fish. So I don't mind leaving it in for a bit. But as a cob bite, I'd only give it about 5 minutes and reel up. But with the Garrick, I'm happy to leave it in another 15 or 25 minutes even, depending on the condition of the mullets during the course of the day. But they've been in very good nick, staying alive long. So let's get another one in. Very windy. So I'm standing a little bit to the left of where I actually want to cast. I'm going to cast slightly with the wind and slide with the current. So there's a very distinctive bank in the back and a trough in the middle. Now I want this slide sinker to land on the bank. That's quite important. Needs to be on that bank. So nice proper cast. There we go. Good, perfect. On the bank. Now we need to get that mullet in. I don't like to put my rod in the stand after I've casted. I prefer as little current effect on my line. So a lot of people cast the sinker, then they put it in the stand, they wait for it to set. But if you've got a good sinker, it's going to set right away. And then you got all of this loose line. Whereas where me now, especially in this type of sea and current, there's much less loose line in play. Now to get him through this surf zone, a lot of short little jerks, as I am doing right now. Always keep an eye on your slide. As he gets further away, lengthen and slow the shakes. And as soon as it's submerged in the water, I like to do nice full long tweaks. And then it's at this point that I check the time on my watch, 3:39, and I will shake for 7 minutes and I should be good. That is where most of my success is. 5 to 8 minutes on a live bait is generally enough to ensure no burn off. Well, I hope that info helps, guys. Let's see if we can get into a big one. Okay, the wind's picked up considerably and we've been changing bait. I put this live bait and I just knew sinker hit the bank perfectly, slid nicely, no tangles, nothing. We got quite a nice bite. Seems like another cob, another decent one. Not the monster cob quest we are after, but a good fish. Okay, it's a good fish, guys. Sure, it's a meter plus. Hopefully it's a cob, not a diamond ray or something. But once again, it definitely had that distinctive cob bite in the stand, or Garrick bite, edible bite. But the slow movement suggests that it's a cob. Let's go get him. Cob, boys.
Look at this, yeah, he's sliding up cup.
Wat the f gaan hier aan, joh. Wonder ons dink is 'n mooi vis. Okay, we got him, boys. Nice cob. The slide made it just to the leader, luckily, and tangled. That's why the fight was a little bit heavy. But yeah, 7 kilo cob. There we go. Moist color on the board. Not a monster by any means, but after the week we've had, we'll take every cob we can. Okay guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep one fish. We're gonna see what this whole cob story is about, why this is such a targeted fish in South Africa. And everyone wants to catch one. So this one's about 85 centimeters. And it's gonna make a nice good feed. We're about 7 of us. This thing will feed more than 7 of us. So have a nice big meal. Hope to do a nice catch and cook for you guys. Okay, so we weren't planning on keeping fish. I prefer catch and release wherever we can, but when we do keep a fish, we really want to look after it. So when I go out and out to catch a fish, I often bring a fish bag with some ice in. But in the case that I didn't, very good way to preserve your fish. Dig a nice big hole in the sand till you get to the wet or the more moist sand. You'll feel the temperature drops. Cover it. And then what you do is you get yourself some water. There we go. Now that water is going to cool the fish right down. The temperature is going to drop in the bottom. And the sand's a good insulator of temperature. So it's going to keep the cool temperature down there. You need to give your fish the respect it deserves. This is not ideal. This is B grade. Ideal is bringing a bag of ice and keeping it nice and fresh on the ice.
Cob are ambush feeders. They rely heavily on their lateral line to feed and their senses to feed. So nighttime is often prime for cob feeding. So I told the crew guys, let's buckle up. It's time to get real. We're gonna camp. We're gonna start a little bit later on low tide. We're gonna make sure we have a nice setup. We've got live bait, and we're gonna go set up tonight for cob. So something like this does not come easy. You know, there's a lot of challenges to do this camping setup. We had to cross the river with a kayak once again, with all of our equipment for a whole day. The ladies joined, so there was a lot of up and down.
Okay, so we're back today at Van der Rietz. First live bait's going out now. It's 1:15. So it's time for a night session, something different. It's time to get serious now. We got some action here yesterday. We got a nice place for night fishing. What I mean by that is, we're fishing a neap tide, so we're gonna be able to fish onto this bank the whole tide. And we got a high tide tonight at 9. So 9 o'clock tonight, I'm gonna be reaching this bank still without getting extremely wet. So that makes it a good choice. The water's also cleaned up considerably, which means it's a better option at night. Hopefully we stay away from the bronzies. If we do, I'm confident we're going to show a couple of cob today. Let's see if we can get that big one. Okay, there's your slide. Always make sure the sinker is facing towards the ocean or the direction you want to slide in. You're going to put the line under this coil and you're going to keep wrapping it, coil for coil. Coil for coil. Always before you lock it, make sure there's no tangles. You're going to lock that thing. And there's your slide. So this is a non-return slide. What I mean by that is it can go forward freely, but as soon as the wave jerks it. Can't really move up. Jabs it from coming back up. So when you're sliding, it's going forward. Every time a wave hits it, it jerks. Very effective, making it a very effective technique to get the bait far out. Okay, we had a nice bite now. Really good bite.
Don't worry about it, Trent.
Ja, ze wil gaan speel samen. Ja, je gaat samen. Ja. En je kunt next time.
Oh, that's a cob, bro. That is 100% a cob. Bietjie sagter hande, okay, met jou vingers.
100% is a cob.
Die af. Oh, that is a cob. Okay, as you can see, very important here. Scala is keeping the tip very high. He's fighting his fight in the last 65% of the rod movement. So he's only dropping it to 45, back to 90, 45 to 90. He's not dropping it like a shark, back to 180. He's fighting it only in the top. We've got a light rod here. We're using the Assassin Evo 5. It absorbs the shakes very well. And yeah, beautiful, beautiful head shakes. Oh, it's a cob. Nice cobby. Wait for the wave. Yes, boys.
Yes! Yes! That's Bobby for the day. Beautiful!
Nia.
Let's go! Oh, that was a nice one. Love this size.
Nice. We bored, boys. Wait, what?
Okay, let's take a measurement for him. So the inch of centimeters.
Okay, so. Oh, yeah, yeah. Ja, dat sien jy hoe hy gelyk het nou die dag. Onthou jy toe ek jou gewys het?
Tail 84 centimeters.
Okay. Good fish. See, he's waiting for a wave. Gonna put it down. Should be good to go quite quickly. Okay. Well, considering the week we've had, this is about a blinder of a start as you get. The first two baits, it's not been in for 10 minutes and we've had 2 bites, and I'm pretty sure this is a carp bite. This is on the slide bait. So, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant news. Ajax is still busy rebaiting. We've got another bite here. Let's see what it is. Could be a Garrick too. Okay, let's get an ID on this fish. Yes, indeed, it's a cabello. Just gonna lift the line here so we can check where the fish is. Oh, there she is. Youngster. Awesome! Yes, boys. Well done. Another lovely cob here. You can see once again why I like to use the slide. The J-hook on the slide. This is the second fish of the day, and both of them has hooked them on the J-hook there in the front. So although not ideal, but J-hook in the corner is much better than a missed cob. So well done. Goeie start.
Great start, bro.
This is the cob, the one that so desired in South Africa, and you can see in line with these little dots, that is the cob's lateral line. So that thing actually senses loads of vibrations, and that's what makes it find these mullets in the shallows. It's a beautiful silver fish, very good for camouflage, and they got a big mouth. So they sit in the bottom, they're almost like a puff head of a snake. Sit at the bottom, and as those mullets come over those bank, he just goes very quick snatch and engulfs the big fish. 81.
So as you can see, we put up the wind sails to cover us from the southeasterly wind that we have. We put the tents in a certain way as well, where we feel comfortable to get quick access to the rods.
So it was an action-packed afternoon, a lot of bites. The girls got in on the action.
Okay, guys, which is pretty much a common case when fishing for sharks. You need a tag team partner that'll help you out. In this case, it's the two sisters. The girls are very tired, so I've just opted to take the rod a little bit. This is a nice shark, a really nice shark. So let me just try and get it up close for them. Put some pressure on the fish, get its head to turn, and yeah, let's get this on the beach.
Okay, so the sun has set. We put out the slide bait. Had an inquiry. I'm not sure it's connected, but definitely had a bite. Good news is the bronzies have tapered off, so hopefully we can bump into 1 or 2 cob now. There we go, boys. Okay, so we've connected, yeah. And see now, Ajax is gonna go down and get it. The west wind is blowing, it's cold. But we've got a good spot for the night, so hopefully we get lucky. Boy, sand shark takes the bait. Okay, so we're gonna do a bit of a catch and cook here. Skalk's was jou kob, né? Skalk's little cobby. Unfortunately, we don't have exactly what we need, but we're gonna cook it on the fire on the beautiful beach here. Not much better than that. So all I'm gonna do is I've got a beautiful portable little grid here, which I'm gonna fill with some olive oil. Just like that, voila. Then what I did is I cut that cob into little cubes, blocks, tasters, nuggets, whatever you want to call it. Very straightforward. Southern fry coating. I'm gonna throw that in this packet here. So if I was at home with a controlled environment, what I would do is I would dip them in some egg. But this does work as well. Just throw some southern fry in a packet, give it a nice good shake, and it's ready to go. Let's see now what I'm talking about. There we go. Looking mooi. And we're gonna wait for that to heat up a bit before we put this back.
Okay guys, as you can see, the kuru sausage is basically polished. Cob is coming on slowly. You don't want to put this on the really warm coals because you can overdo fish pretty quickly. But these seem to be coming along quite nicely. So yeah, no, let's do a taste test. Guys, this is absolutely beautiful. Duvan! Duvan's not around, and he should not be around because I'm gonna polish all this cob. It's absolutely beautiful. Have a close look. Very white, flaky type of a fish. Absolutely beautiful, just melts in your mouth. Awesome guys, absolutely awesome.
Check this pool here, Marek. Check this pool.
Dis wat gebeur as jy die glowies onthou nie, bro.
We unfortunately forgot to bring our glow sticks, which we put on the tips of the rods to see if we get a bite in the dark. And on top of that, we were also distracted by sharing some drinks around the fire. And in that time, a bronze whaler came up, took our bait, and almost pulled all our line out.
Took a little bit of a break, and I was sopping wet, and I rigged the mullet. I told Ajax quickly go throw this light sinker. Although it was night, we knew exactly where the bank was. We had sort of marked it, we had a good idea. And I rigged the mullet, I took it to Ajax. I put it on the line for him. Ajax started sliding. I'm wet, I'm cold, I'm standing next to him. And he's sliding. And we usually slide for about 5 to 10 minutes. And we're probably around 7 minutes. And I check Ajax, drop the rod right next to me. Sets the hook. And quite a lot of power. I'm like, oh, another bronzy. Ajax, I think it's a bronzy. And I checked the rod do just one like over lift. And my heart just started beating.
Okay guys, we've just barely been spooled by a bronzy due to lack of checking the rod status. But we're on again. We just recast it, we're on again. And we've got something on here. No, there's something going on here. There's something going on here with the lights. It's under. Ek's onder. Boer. Okay. Okay, that was a stressful moment. The lines just crossed. But whatever this is, it's shaking its head. So it might be a cop. If it's a cop, it'll be a decent cop. A really decent cop. Guys, if it's a cop, it'll be the cop. It might be the cop. That would be awesome, right?
Jokes aside, though,
It's giving good signs.
if there wasn't 1,000 billion bronzies around, I would say it's looking quite fishy.
Hy is vir my stadig en is of 'n proper sandje or maybe a diamond. A diamond?
A diamond, a cop.
Hy stamp verseker meer or maybe a raggy. Okay, let's follow the fish a little bit here.
Okay, so this is getting a little bit stressful, to be honest. It's fighting a bit like an ice carp. So the mood is changing a bit. The heart's starting to beat. It's going right, which often is an indicator of an ice carp. Not right, but it chooses direction, holds the direction. But I mean, I feel like I've been in this exact same situation like 7 times this week. So I don't want to get my hopes up, but it's not a bronzy. I don't think it's a bronzy. So now we need to look. It's a eagle ray, a sand shark, a diamond ray, a raggy. Those are the 4 options beside for a carp. Maybe a diamond, couple of head shakes, could be in the wig. Not a sand shark, too strong. Not an eagle ray, too strong. So we're left with diamond ray, raggy, or carp. 3 options. I don't know, my heart's kind of feeling funny at the moment, to be honest. My heart's starting to beat a bit, yeah. I'm not lying. My heart's beating.
So after the fight, we were literally eliminating suspects, and we came to the realization that, listen, this might be the actual fish. And I was holding back on the sand, just waiting to see that silver slab.
Oh, it's a nice carp. Loop achteruit.
And once Duvan picked it out of the water, the feeling is absolutely indescribable, guys.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
You know, you can tell that it's Chad's special fish.
Yeah!
And that's basically what we came on this trip for, and spending the time and the energy and the effort and everything with him to just catch that one fish. That one fish is all we were looking for.
Yes!
Yes, it's a boy. Oh.
Look at that fish!
You know,
What a
it's a
fish.
very special feeling
Yes!
to be able to share that moment with them.
It's just absolutely indescribable. It's fantastic, to say the least. Oh, awesome, bro. Yeah.
1-1.
1-1. That's a beautiful fish. That's a beautiful fish.
Well done, Charlie, bro. Kom leg hier toch.
Okay, so what we need to do is, yeah, exactly what he's doing there. Support him under his head, pushing him against the current. And then hold him by the tail. Okay, okay. So you want to make sure he stays upright. There we go, good Rick. Good kick, very good kick. There we go. Yes. There she is, boys. Yes! Not the 40 kilo we are after, but a beautiful, beautiful cob.
Yes.
A beautiful cob, 100% worth it.
Thanks, Duvies.
About a 20 kilo fish, 19, 20 kilos, I don't know. Probably on measurement, maybe a bit less. But very fat, very healthy. A beautiful cob, 100% worth it. 100% worth it. Thanks, bro. Well done, Merrick. Yeah. Thank you, Merrick. We put out a bait early this morning. It's actually laid for about an hour and a bit, hour and a half, which is a good sign, staying away from the bronzies. And it feels like a cob. So, not overly optimistic. Could be a diamond ray or an eagle or something. It's not tons of head shakes, but it's not a bronzy. So our options basically cob, cob or diamond ray. My stomach doesn't quite have the feeling it had last night, but I'm still confident. Mooi first. If it's cob, it's a nice fish.
Yeah, if it's a cob, it'll be a nice fish.
And it's holding the same direction. It's a cob! It's a cob! Oh, it's a cob! It's a promise you! I promise you! I promise you! Come on, boys! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! Wees net rustig! Wees net rustig! Just take it easy.
Yes, so that's a groot collier. Guys, we're on with a fish of a lifetime now. Starting to panic a little bit. I don't want this fish to get off. This is the fish of the trip. So now it's important to stay calm, play the fish nicely, soft hands, and just pray a little bit.
We're fishing so hard for this fish. Please, can we get him out? It's a good fight. It's a big fish. It's a proper cob. You don't believe me yet? Bro, I promise you, I saw the whole thing. Yeah. Well, even Ajax is coaching me. He's telling me to calm down. What you don't want to do is, if it's got that single J hook in the front, you don't want to try grab him and miss him, because that head shake will release the hook. So you got to just stay close to the fish, stay behind him, and when you get a good opportunity, grab him. Okay, it's not that big. It's a nice fish. It's not as big as I initially thought, but it's still a cob. I won't. Don't worry, Ajax. Don't worry. Yeah! Yeah!
Yes, man. Move.
That's why it felt so strong, and why we received it to be extra big, because it was hooked just below the head there. A really good fish though. Okay, so these fish are very sensitive, so we need to be quite quick. Luckily the water's cold, so when the water's cooler they tend to be less fragile. We're trying to keep it off the sand,
Okay.
as much as we can.
Okay.
114.
114.
11.
In the middle.
115.
115.
Kleiner gestrand. En
Kleiner. Doe maar hyself. Nog steeds een mooie vis.
boys! That's a solid cob. That's beautiful, beautiful. We were a bit overexcited. We saw it in the wave, and it had a lot of power, and yeah, we expected a monster cob, and then all of a sudden I checked, and it was not quite as big as I thought, but it's a really nice fish. Fine. What's that? Yep. We got a bit very excited there. That's a beautiful fish nonetheless. It was a good fight. But because it was hooked in the bottom here, it had a lot of weight. So immediately in the waves, when we saw that silver, we assumed a big cob. The fact that we've been chasing it for 10 days does definitely add to the energy around it. But still not what we're after. But a good fish. Got a 18 kilo fish. So maybe a bit less. I don't remember what the measurement was, but probably about 15 to 20 kilos. So good job.
Thanks, my bro.
Okay, so got another bite here. Another strong fish, some good shakes. But it's over that rod. Okay, go, go, go. Nee, wacht, wacht, wacht. Ja, ja, maar nie worry nie. Ek weet. Oh, gaan verkeerde kant uit, sorry, juist. Okay. Huh? I think it's a cob, guys. Okay, so he's playing it very well. As you can see, the rod movement, it's keeping it 45 to 90, 45 to 90, absorbing every little hit of that cob. On the braid especially, it can be riveting. So this is how you fight a cob. Even if it's a raggy or something else, rather play him like a cob to, yeah, obviously you don't want to be losing it. I think it's a cob. Just checking lines, it's still underneath that other line, which is good. Cob! Okay, wees net rustig as hy kom na jou toe, dan loop jy 'n bietjie agteruit, né? Oh, ja, it's cob, it's a cob. It's a cob, boys. Just play it calm. Just keep it calm. Just keep the red.
Net so gemaak dat as hy wil gaan wat hy kan.
Ja, jy wil hom ook nie te los hê nie, né?
Ja, sodat ek daarom lekker tension op hom kan hou. Maar sodat hy kan gaan as hy moet gaan.
So I'm with us. It's a very good cob. Could be the biggest one of the trip. It's a really good fight, this. Can you see it now? It's a nice one. There's no breaking. Don't the braid. Oh, it's a nice fish. That's a really good fish. Big head shakes with the braid. It just really gets your brain going. Okay, so I'm trying to position because they often turn onto their belly, which gives you a good chance to grab him, but you don't want to. Yes! Woo! What a nice goal, boys! Yes!
Done, man.
Yes!
That's safe.
Look at that hook. I told you. Well done, bro.
Hy's groot. Dis 'n solid point here.
Look at that J hook. See, once again, we would have missed that fish, and that J hook got him there. Nice, very nice hook up. This is a nice cob. I think this is going to be the same as the size last night. Check when that thing ate, it actually broke the sinker line off. It's quite an aggressive feed. Beautiful fish. 115.
115.
Yes.
Ja, maar hy's vet hierdie.
Yeah, it's fucking fit.
You know, it's a very special feeling to be able to share that moment with them.
Mooi, Kalkie! So, because of all of the challenges we had this week, fishing together, when we landed these 3 fish the last day, it was really special. They were very well received. Everyone was in extremely good spirits.
and it was really a nice way to close off a difficult week. And we shared so much laughter and joy and passion in these 8 days. And we didn't get the fish we were after, not totally. We didn't get the 30 kilo plus, but we'll do it again. You're gonna have to.
At the conclusion of our cob fishing adventure, we've managed to get 3 beautiful fish, which resulted to me and Skalky's personal bests. And we feel that it's just a must to give a big thanks to the guys that were pulling us through this thing. I mean, Duvan, Ajax, Luke, Ruan, all you guys, Marek behind the camera, everyone, you guys are top notch, special people. We love spending the trip with you all, and we can't wait to get back.
So we're extremely happy with the fish that we caught and with the experience that we have. But I think the question that really gets highlighted throughout this entire trip is, will there be a part 2 for me and your giant Mulloway cob fishing?
Duvan, put your walking shoes on. We're coming back, my friend.
Thank you guys so much for watching, but don't just sit there. Head over to duvansfishingcharters.com or click the link in the description and join us on our next adventure.